Hi guys, I'm Bubsy, and in this video we're finally adding the weapon switching to the player. So we're continuing off from where we left off last time, where we got to rig the player holding the gun, and we've also polished the gun a bit more with some recoil and particles. And so now we're gonna add multiple guns. And now there's obviously many ways you can go about doing something like this, but I'm gonna do it the way where we essentially set up all the guns on the player, but only one is essentially active at the time. So one of the things that I want to do in order to accommodate this is I actually want to use a state machine for this as well. Similar to what we do in the game, the state machine will also work owner-authorized, which means we can have the owner control what state he's in and simply easily sync that to everyone. So I add the state machine, I tick the little owner-authorized box here, and essentially what we have to do now is we got to go and make our gun into a state node, like so. And with the gun being a state node, we can now control what we do when. Right, so one of the references that we want to set up is I want to set up a list of renderers. This will essentially be the visuals of the gun so that we can enable and disable, well, basically the visuals whenever we have the gun active or not. So just like so, let's do a method. So let me make a private void toggle visuals, and we'll make bool for the toggle. And it should essentially be as easy as just looping through all of the renderers and just toggling it. So we'll do renderer.enabled equals to toggle. And there we go. It should really be as easy as that. So now whenever toggle is called, so for example, in awake, we can always call toggle visuals to false to make sure that all guns disable. And then when you enter the gun state, we want to toggle it to true. And when you leave the gun state, we want to toggle it to false. So let's do toggle visuals false. And then up here we do toggle visuals to true. And great, it should really be as easy as that to toggle the weapons on and off. So now let's go and just set up a different weapon. So since we already have the pistol here, let's just go and duplicate the pistol and let's make it a rifle. And I'm pretty sure that the pack that I added here with the polygon starter had some models for weapons, for other weapons as well. I think that was the water gun, yeah. So I think let's add, which one? Let's do this water gun. So I want to use that, oops. I don't want to do that. I essentially want to add the mesh just because, you know, we already have the mesh render on here. Or actually, you know what? It might be easier if we just take the whole prefab. I think that's a simpler setup. So let me go and pick the water gun, which was this one I want to take. And let's add that in here. And actually, to make it easier, let's just make it a child of the rifle, really. Let's just call it body. And then we can just remove the mesh renderer and mesh filter from this, and we set the body of the gun now. Water pistol trigger we can also remove, don't need that. And now the body of the gun we can now move down to where we essentially want the gun to be on the player. So let me first go and zero it and everything. There we go. So this is where it is right now. Let's put it so maybe it's around, I don't know, maybe around here or so. Let's try something like that, see how that works. And of course we still have the targets as well. Let me go on the pistol here. Oh right, it's the wrong targets, my bad. So we essentially got to now move these to somewhere where we think that works for the gun. So the right hand should be about maybe down here somewhere, where you can hold, you know, his hand on the handle here. And the right target, or the left target, sorry, we can put further in front. So maybe it's holding more under the gun, rotate a little bit, I don't know. We'll be playing around with this to see what works and what doesn't. So let's try something like that. And here we have the rifle with the gun script as well. And going into our state machine, we can now add two states. We can add the pistol in here and we can add the rifle in here. All right, great. So now we have these set up. We got to set them up with the renderers now that we added as well. So that's the renderer list. And essentially I can drag and drop the pistol into the renderer list and the trigger. And I think if we take these two and just disable the mesh renders, we should see that the whole gun essentially disappears, which seems to work well. And you know, we can also just keep them disabled from the beginning if you want. The important thing is we don't disable the whole object. That's not what we're disabling, we're just disabling the renderers. And here essentially, let's also expand the rifle and the body. Whoops. Let's lock this and then put all of these into the renderers list as well. There we go. Okay, great. And so hopefully this will work first of all. So let's go and just test with a single player and just make sure we only get the pistol now. That's what we want to see. So I hit play and there we go. We only have the pistol. Great. Now we also need a way to change the weapon that we're using. So let's go back on the player and I'm gonna also go to the rifle and actually let's also make it automatic. Let's give it a fire rate of 0.2 for example. Let's give the recoil duration to 0.25 maybe. Let's see how that looks. And I think we can keep the rest for now. The muzzle flash we of course also want to move out to the end of it. Let's see how that looks. That seems to work well. Cool. The next thing that we might also want to do is we of course want to have some kind of changing, and then we of course also want to change which targets that we're actually using. So instead, I think if we go into the gun here, where we are in the update loop, if I'm not wrong, we set the IK targets. Now, instead of having this be the update loop, we actually want this to be the, I think I called it state update. Yes, exactly. So we want it to be the state update, which means this only runs when the state is active. So if we just plop this in here and now remove the old update loop, this now means we essentially have an update loop that's only updating when the state's active. Great. So that means when we're changing gun, it should also change behavior on the gun. And then maybe let's also just put its damage down to like 6, I don't know, just because. Now let's add an easy way to switch weapons. We can make a new script for this. We can also just customize the player controller. Let me see, how long is this? It's not that long. Okay, I think we just do it in here. So let me just make a handle weapon switching method like that. Let's use the magical alt enter, and let's put this down at the bottom here. So put it down here, and then let's just do an easy if input.getKey down, keycode.keycode.alpha1, for example. So when we hit the number 1, and then we essentially want to switch to that state. So let's set up some references here. Let's set up some references to the private state machine, which is in the pernet.stateMachine namespace. And this will be the state machine. And then let's set a serialized field also for the state node. So let's do a private list. And this will be of type state node, and this will be weapon states. This will be a new list. And then let's essentially just set it so that the button we press goes to essentially that index, right? So we'll do state machine.set state, and that will be the weapon states at 0. And then we can just duplicate that at 2. That will be state 1. There we go. So of course, you know, this can technically break. We're not doing a lot of safety checks and so on, but it's a simple setup, so it shouldn't be a big problem. First of all, we drag the state machine in here, and then with the weapon state will be the pistol state and the rifle state. All right, cool. Now let's go and test and see if this works now. So if I press 2, you can see now we switch gun, and I can also shoot with that gun. And if we press 1, you can see I switch to the pistol. All right, awesome. This seems to work really well so far. Let's also, on the player, just modify the recoil curve very quickly, because I think the recoil strength is maybe a little too high. I want it to be a smaller recoil, so that way we can also defend it being a faster recoil, and it rotates less. So let's do maybe something like 15. Let's try that, see how this works now. So now the pistol still looks fine, and the rifle does a much smaller recoil. I think this looks better. Maybe we even have it go a bit faster and do less recoil again. I think that can work, so let's give it a try. Let's try 10%, for example, and recoil duration will be 0.1, and the fire rate will be 0.12, something like that. Let's try that, see how that works. Boop. Yeah, I think that works. And we can, of course, also, you know, if you want, change the particles to make them be a bit faster. Could also maybe be fun to try and set the simulation space to world instead, and just to see how that looks. And then let's set the laugh time to 0.1, and the speed maybe a little bit down. So now it should be a much quicker little poof. 0.1, 0.08 maybe. I think that works now. It's a lot faster of a little poof. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. Oh, that looks weird when we're running though. Okay, maybe we go out of the wall space. That was a mistake. Let me go back on that. Local space. There we go. All right, that should be fine. Yeah, I think that works. Now we have a fast little gun. Okay, let's test it with actual multiplayer now. So let's have 2 players. Just make sure I save, and let's have the other player join. And now when he switches weapon, boom, now you can see he switches weapon, his hands change position. That actually looks surprisingly good for a first attempt. Of course, it's not perfect, and as you can see, he kind of reaches and stuff like that, which doesn't look great. But again, these are things you can fix. You'd probably want it, you know, when it rotates up and down, to maybe not rotate in such a strict motion as it's doing right now. You know, as you can see right now, it's kind of rotating in this very circular motion. You might want it to rotate more in sort of a little arch like this. But of course, this is more math-based stuff. And you can see when we shoot as well, this works. We can see the recoil. And when he shoots us, oh, that doesn't seem to work. Why not? That's the question. Okay, we can damage him. He can't damage us. Why would that be? Let's have a look. Might have a little bug for some reason. So let's go back into the weapon. Let's just double check, see if you can do it with the pistol. He can't with the pistol either. Okay, interesting. Let's have a look at that. So let's look at the gun script. Let's see. So we shoot. If it hits a target, hit player, then we'll get the player health and we'll change the health of the player. So I guess let's just try and debug.log out here. Hit, and then who we hit. Debug.log, found player health. And also, I just realized, let's just make sure and double check that the gun doesn't have a collider. Of course, we don't want that on it. Let's just double check. It does indeed have a collider, which we do not want. And you can also see the refill bottle back here also seems to have a collider. Let's get rid of that. All right, great, no colliders. Just to make sure we don't hit something we shouldn't be hitting. All right, let's see. So on his end, oh wait, he does damage now. Maybe it was the, oh, you know what? I think it might have been just raycasting on itself. Okay, anyway, okay, so the damage works now. It might have been the collider that was messing with it. Okay, regardless, you can see that actually works now. All right, cool. I also noticed our health goes to negative, which of course we don't want. So let's quickly just have that fixed too. So on the health change, we send it to update the health. We send it through here, and let's just make sure that if health is less than 0, we set health to 0, like that, just to make sure it never goes below 0 in the UI. All right, cool. So now we actually have weapon switching, and you can of course set up more weapons as you'd like them. Of course, the gun script itself can be fairly modularized to mimic a lot of weapons, but if you wanted a shotgun or something, for example, you could do that too. Just make it a state node and it should work just fine. There's really no limitations to what you can do with this setup. It's really just the client or state machine is really doing the most for us here. So yeah, that should be all good. There you go. Now you can see we don't go under 0, which is great. All right, awesome. Well, I hope this was helpful to you. We can now go and remove these logs. And yeah, in the next video, we'll be looking into probably adding some hit effects and damage effects, you know, both in first person and also in third person. You know, when you see others get hit, you'll see the blood splatter on them or something like that. Awesome. Well, I really hope this was helpful to you. Remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help the channel a lot. And I'll see you in the next one.